Good evening, children. And today we're going to talk on a very important topic at Inspiring Young Minds. And with no further ado, I want to take you through the presentation today. So good evening, children. And today we are at Inspiring Young Minds, session 36. And our topic for discussion today is painting and mental health. So many children find it a lot more interesting to play with paints and, they love coloring their hands with all different types of colors. And they seem to love this entire act. Many people might find it annoying because they might put paint everywhere. Some might find it also a little more difficult, especially because, they'll be putting some permanent marks on their skin and it will be tough to remove them out. But for a child, it is a lot more fun in trying to explore themselves. So let's see what are the benefits of art for kids. Many kids have complained about mental health issues and stress or high anxiety, all of which go together or hand in hand. And when people create something beautiful through painting, they stimulate the creative mind while relieving the mental strain. So when you want to have a lower stress level and leading to a happy, healthier lifestyle, all of this definitely gives a better improvement onto the overall mental well-being of a person. So painting generally helps you relax because it allows your mind to focus on one point what you're working, and that's the work you're doing at that point of time. And this gives you a kind of a relief on the anxiety in the mind and relaxes your body. The combination of painting and listening to a nice music can be healing, not only your body, but also your soul. So many times you will find people who are into creative arts, they generally love listening to very beautiful numbers, and they kind of feel very regenerated after that session. So what are the painting benefits for children? It increases the confidence levels. It develops the fine and gross motor skills. The cognitive skills are improved. It also helps in problem solving. They learn about the elements of art, maths and science integration happens, and it's also fun and relaxing. So the purpose of the art is actually to produce thinking. Now, what happens when you're thinking? It basically gives you kind of a relaxation method and makes you connect with nature. So why do I say that? See, there are a lot of patterns in the nature, and as you draw, these basic drawings of the nature comes into form. So we are not looking at the technical skill of a person when they paint or draw, or the mechanics behind creating the art, but it is in the process of introspection and different levels of contemplation that generate it. So once you love this process, this creative potential of yours can actually take you places, because you will be slowly unwrapping yourself and you will feel a lot more comfortable with yourself. So it's not like, there is a good art or a bad art. It is like, much better than having no art at all. So you should keep in touch with your creative well-being. The theory behind art therapy basically suggests anything like drawing, coloring, painting, even sculpting. And this would be a kind of an expression of your inner mind. And this inner mind of yours, if it is in having different emotions or feelings, then you will sometimes probably have trouble putting into words, but never you will feel difficulty in painting. Usually when you're a little troubled, you take a pen or a pencil and start scribbling or doodling or something. But at the end of it, you will feel that the trouble has actually gone off like a bubble. So drawing and coloring can be helpful tool for anyone seeking new ways. And this can help manage any kind of anxiety symptoms or anger or any kind of emotions which are negative in nature. So by just looking at these kind of emojis or pictures, you will be able to understand. By just looking at some of them, you feel very happy. And by looking at some of them, you feel not so happy or sad, right? So drawing, painting, or any form of creative art actually heals and is a stress buster or a stress reliever. Studies have shown that most people who try art as any form of therapy or stress relief have experienced significant reduction in their cortisol levels when doing so. And this cortisol is a very important hormone which helps basically in terms of stress. So researchers in Germany have found that people who spend time creating this visual art actually showed increased connectivity in their brains, that is during the scans, and it also demonstrated improvements in the psychological resilience, a term generally people use for ability to cope with negative emotions and that make them feel very happy and functional. That means they are in sync with whatever they are trying to do. So by just looking at this picture of the two children that they are enjoying with the colors, some is on their face, and probably you might have to give them a hard bath. But then, the kind of emotional happiness the child gets is something very phenomenal. So what does this painting do to your brain? It boosts your brain power. So many a times people think, oh, they're not studying, but all, work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. We have heard that, right? So when you give these kind of creative work for a child, it actually brings up and boosts their brain power. It increases the creativity and craftsmanship. It also improves their imagination and helps them think out of their box. It improves in concentration and helps them focus. It also helps in understanding or being observant with whatever is happening outside in the world. And this could be kind of a visual learning. This can also help in problem solving skills, especially in various parts of their personal or professional life later. And it can also improve higher IQs. And there is a lot of, connection or correlation between intelligence and creativity. When you think about academic performance, generally people think art is waste, but that is not true. You can see people have got better grades in their education and in major subjects when they are, allocating some time to de-stress themselves. Kids with learning difficulties like ADHD or dyslexia often benefit from the art as a learning tool. And I'm sure most of us must have seen a lot of movies which has shown that, kids with learning difficulties have really expressed themselves so well with the kind of art therapy. You have school attendance, which also is very important, which means it is not only their physical fitness and mental toughness, the children are also focused and able to attend everyday classes. And it has also reduced a lot of dropout or, when children don't want to go ahead with their higher education. For the emotional well-being, you can see that it has a lot of benefits. It acts as a relaxation tool. It can help you discover lifelong passion. It can reduce anxiety and depression. It can help in bonding and opportunity. And it gives the child a lot of purpose in life when they especially are struggling with any learning difficulties or any social process. So now let's understand what is the difference between an art therapy and an art class. Now, when you are going into an art class, it is facilitated by a skilled teacher who's going to teach you the techniques of drawing, and it involves the school, the teacher and the student kind of a relationship. It takes place in a classroom or in an art studio. And the main goal here is to make something which is very creative and very pleasing to the eye. And the art supplies are generally used with kind of a specific accomplishment for the task. And there can be a certain recommended technique to do it the right way rather than to just focus on the creativity. And the focus is on the final art product. So it's always about what is going to come out at the end. And this artwork is evaluated for its formal qualities based on the elements and principles of design. However, an art therapy is totally different. This is facilitated by a professionally trained art therapist, and they involve in a very therapeutic kind of a relationship. So here it is not like a student and a teacher, and all what is drawn is mostly confidential, and it is in that space. And here it is not to make something great, but it is to express themselves, which they could not express in terms of writing it down or even speaking it out. And these art supplies are basically tools which is going to help them in self-expression. And here there is no technique as in you should do it this way or you should color it this way. So there's no right or wrong here. It is whatever makes them feel or whatever is that they are associating themselves with. This also focuses on the creative process, and this is a reflection of your inner feeling, and it is a way to communicate to the outer world. So what are the benefits of painting? It is for the spiritual well-being. It is also for the emotional well-being. It gives a lot of intellectual well-being. It relaxes, and it is to see it with the eye of a child, and this can be the best therapy ever. So art is basically a silent expression of the thoughts, feelings, and experiences as told by Merlin. And you will also be able to see that there are many benefits of painting for children, which includes the sensory development, the color learning, the fine motor development, exercising creativity, being able to express emotions, and also build the self-esteem. So painting can also be a kind of an activity to help certain concepts. For example, like if you want to, teach your children about shapes or letters, it could be very fun and engaging when you use art. Now, instead of just saying A stands for apple, you can ask them to draw the apple. So they'll also learn the shape of the apple. They can also learn the color of the apple. And you can even place an apple next to them so that they can touch and feel and understand what an apple looks like or feels like. So this can go ahead with even understanding shapes. Like, for example, if you want to teach a triangle, you can take them out into the nature and show them a tree. Some pine trees are triangle in shape. You can show them the mountain. You draw mountains in a form of a triangle. So this could help them understand maths better, and it could help them, orient themselves with certain aspects of nature. Now let's take, for example, a kind of, a leaf. Now, when you look at the leaf, you're able to see that there are many patterns on the leaf, and it is repetitive in nature. Nature by itself is very repetitive. But now if you go and see 2 or 3 trees in the same vicinity, and if they are different trees, they'll be able to appreciate the different leaves, and they would also be able to differentiate the different patterns on those leaves. So painting and art, all of this is so much with nature that it gives you a kind of an understanding in a very fun way, in a very lighter note. And it also helps one put out whatever is in their mind, and it gives a kind of a calming kind of a mindset. So if you have a troubled mind, you can just pick up your brushes and a paint book or even a paper and start just coloring. And I'm sure at the end of this process, you're going to feel a lot more lighter. So what are the 7 ways art therapy actually benefits the mental health? It relieves stress. It encourages creativity. It boosts the self-esteem. It expresses the feelings. It increases the empathy. It increases dopamine, which is a feel-good hormone, and it eases the burden of any chronic conditions. So that is why many parents actually put their children into some art class so that this can give them a kind of relaxation, especially with all the stresses running outside in the world. So even during regular classes, instead of just putting them into one class after the other, say music class, dance class, say karate or something like that, they also put them into the art class because you could have a kind of a stress buster with the art class. So looking at the picture, I'm sure you would understand. So the first picture shows that that person is very troubled in the mind. very confused, does not know what to do. But then when they start drawing, you can see all that confusion is now coming out in the piece of a paper. And at the end of the process, the person is very cool and relaxed. So that is what art therapy is all about. And this is recognized by the mental health professional, where they use the creative process which is involved in making the art. And it is just not into putting it into paper. It is like it improves the physical, mental, and emotional well-being, and also helps in managing conflict. If you are angry with somebody else or some situation in life, or anything for that matter, it will also help you reduce those stress and increase your self-esteem, self-awareness, and also an insight into whatever you want. So as we said, art is an expression of profound thoughts in a very simplest way. So it is not about what is right and who is right. It is just about putting down your thoughts into a piece of paper, and you would see at the end of the day, you would feel very proud of what you have, done. So this painting, it boosts the memory recollection skills and works to sharpen the mind through conceptual visualization and implementation. It also helps individuals to, express their feelings and emotions without words. And sometimes, when children especially are overwhelmed and they are not able to talk it out, and they find it very difficult to express themselves, painting is a great way to understand their inner thoughts and help them release those things. So at Inspiring Young Minds, we are at activity 36. I want you to paint and share your experience as how you felt before you started painting and after you completed the task. So this is Inspiring Young Minds, and we are at a WhatsApp. You can contact us, and you can like, share, subscribe, comment on our YouTube channel called Team Red Rockstars, Dr. Vidyaa Smile Dental Clinic. And with that, we come to an end of today's session. So yes, Sadhira, I can see your hand up. So yes, tell me.
Ma'am, the session was very fun. I joined the session late, but I liked it. And when I'm bored, I take my brush and come. And this is my picture.
So sweet. So you like ice creams, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
And you like it in the cone?
Yes.
And tell me those two flavors you have drawn.
Blueberry and strawberry.
Wow, strawberry is my favorite too. So that's a high five for both of us. Wonderful. And you put a cherry also on the top of that strawberry.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. I want to eat that strawberry cone ice cream right away.
Yes, ma'am.
Done. One day we will go out and have ice cream together. Okay? Okay. Lovely. Wonderful, Adara. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, dear. Yes, Devna.
Today's session was really nice, and whenever I get sad or bored or just as a hobby, I take a piece of paper or I do it in my sketchbook. I take few colors and then just draw what's in my mind. And since I'm traveling now, I don't have the picture with me, but I simply took a washing sponge, the yellow and green sponge, cut it into small pieces. I took a black sheet of paper and I made a white paper template of a rocket. Then I used the sponge to mix the colors yellow, red, and orange. I did that for the fire of the rocket free-handedly. And I used little buds for the stars and for the planets. Then I used brushes to make the galaxies, brush tips to make the galaxies.
Wow, I want to see that picture. So once you get back home, I want you to share it so that, I would love to see that. And as you said, when you take a sponge and when you put it, you'll be able to get different textures on the painting also. Instead of just taking the paint and run it over with a brush, you will get a different kind of a texture. So that's a nice idea. Very good. Yes, Sadhara, you were raising your hands.
Ma'am, and draw some pictures. It was fun to have many colors.
I know when you paint and there are lots of colors, you feel very
Yes, ma'am.
happy with it, right?
And I love mixing colors. It was fun.
So what are the colors you all mixed? Tell me, what did you mix? Which colors did you mix?
I didn't mix now, but I mixed with monochromatic painting.
Correct. Monochromatic painting, you can add a little white or a little black and make it different colors, right?
Yes.
So that's very important. And we will be having a lot more of art sessions. I
Yes.
want you to start collecting some leaves, okay? We're going to have a leaf painting or a leaf art soon. And I want you all to start collecting the leaves. You can have lots of trees around you, so you can go out and you can collect those leaves, see about those leaves, learn about them like I told you, and we will do some leaf art or leaf painting, okay? So which means you can take the leaf, you can paint on it and then keep it on the paper to get the imprint of the leaves, or you can take the leaves itself and make, stick it on a paper or create some different design with the leaves, okay? So I'm just giving you some tips. Yes, Adira.
And if I mix yellow, orange and red and paint it on the leaf, we will get an autumn tree.
Correct, correct. You can, bring a lot of vibrancy into colors. See, previously we think only leaves are green in color, right? But when you start painting a tree, especially in the autumn time, you will see they are in a splurge of colors. You have all the colors. You can have pink, you can have purple, brown, white, orange, red, yellow, and different shades of colors you can have. So you can pick up something very, very vibrant also and do it. Okay. And similarly, when you see the sun setting, you will see that orange color of that sunset falling on buildings, and then on the water, you will see variations of colors, right? So you can do all of that.
And I have many friends in my house, so I can have easily leaves.
Yes, so collect those leaves and see what all are the different types or patterns of the leaves, and we will do a leaf art soon, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Lovely. So have a great weekend. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Kevin.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Adira. Bye, Devna.